this meeting of Mascoma Valley Regional School Board to order. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are you all set, Seth? I'm sorry, I usually ask. Sorry, thanks.
I've been trying to get on it right when you.
I figure you were. All right, cool. All right. First thing on our agenda, we have minutes from 11/28, public and non-public. I'll entertain a motion for this.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of public and non-public from November 28th.
I'll second that, and then I'm going to table that immediately because Danielle will be here, and then we'll have enough people to vote on it. Who are all there?
Okay.
How's that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next thing on our agenda right now, we have public comment. So public comment is open. Anything for you?
Not good.
All right. Any public comment for you tonight?
Well, it's a little premature. I really want to. Are you folks going to be discussing the future budget for next year at all at this meeting?
So not at this meeting, no. We've already had our budget. The budget committee sets the budget. They've already done the budget. They've had all the discussions for that. Last Monday, we had our joint school board and budget committee meeting, and we talked about all that. We will bring it back again. We'll have another meeting that we'll probably talk about it in, I think, the first one in January, if I'm not mistaken. But we are all set for those. And then we have deliberative session on the 2nd of February.
Okay, when do you actually vote? When does the town actually vote on it?
Town votes on the budget in March at town meeting day.
In March, okay.
Yeah, so the way we have it, we're an SB2 town, or SB2 district, if you're familiar with how that works.
Not really.
Okay, so in short, basically, we have a budget committee, prepares the budget, and then they present it to the voters at what's called the deliberative session, the first Saturday in February. So we meet here at the high school in the auditorium, first Saturday. We, the town, everybody in the whole district can come out, and we talk about the budget, and we vote on it, and then that final budget, that's the final budget that we put together, and then that goes to the voters, everybody, in March. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
reasonably.
Is there a public hearing in January though?
Yes, thank you. That's what it is.
You
I
are.
knew there was something in January. I'm glad you're here. So yeah, we do have a public hearing in January that we will talk about the budget. So that will be one of
It'll
them.
be open to the public.
I went
Yeah.
to the superintendent's office today and picked up the projected budget, and I actually want to commend it. There's only a 3.2% increase from this year to next year. Compared to a lot of other school districts, I think that's quite extraordinary, actually.
We think so too.
But I was really puzzled with some of the line items. It just, some leveled off, some went down, some really went up.
Yeah. If you have specific questions on that, would the SAU be the best or
Yeah, you
budget?
can, I can schedule you a time. I'd be happy to sit and talk with you.
Yeah, I'd just like to see this special ed thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is a
It can
big
jump.
elephant,
It
out
can
there.
go up and down depending on
And
reasons.
I didn't know what kind of ratio the children to special ed. Every district does it differently, I
Mhm,
guess.
mhm.
So sometimes 3-to-1, sometimes 4-to-1, 1-to-1. Hanover is 1-to-1. I mean, it's like
It all depends on the needs of the kids too.
all
So
over the place. So I just want to get some kind of in-depth information. It's a much bigger school district than I'm used to looking at, but like I say, got a lot of line items here.
Sure do, and we're very granular. We part of the process. We make sure everybody sees it. We all talk about it and all that sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
what's your name and town you live in?
I put in Gregory
Oh.
Peters.
Okay.
I bought a couple of properties up in Canyon, so
Excellent.
I guess I'm in your town, so. there we
All
go.
right.
Okay.
All right.
So
Cool.
if you wanted to come in anytime on Thursday, if you were available Thursday afternoon,
Thursday, what time is good for you? I'm kind of flexible because I'm,
anytime after my last meeting ends at 1:30.
1 to 2 o'clock.
Sure. I'll
All
see you
right.
then.
There we go.
Okay, that'll be great, because I just got some questions about how many teachers teaching the school, what curriculums are here, and et cetera,
Sure.
et cetera. You
I
know?
know,
Sure.
I know all those things.
Yep. She's
So-
your resource.
Yeah,
I know
you
all.
know, and I like to deal with ladies anyway, because I have 3 daughters and 4 granddaughters, so
All right.
I'm blessed
Oh,
with
you're
girls.
used to it
Yeah,
then.
I'm used to it, right?
I hear you.
I never win anyway, so.
You come on in then. You come on in.
I hear you.
I'll see you Thursday.
That's
All right, cool. I'm glad we got that all
Okay.
squared away. Well, thank you. We always let people have them get involved and stuff, so. All right, next thing on our agenda, student representative. So you do have your report in your packet. I don't know if they print, oh, you good, you got printed copies.
Perfect.
Next, you got two?
Yeah, you want that one?
Sure, I was reading online, but I'll take this.
There you go. Okay, so quite a few things this week, or last couple weeks. So right now, student council is working on planning Winter Carnival. So we do 2 days of games, and then we have a dance on the Saturday coming night. So on we're doing them the days before break this year, which I think is a really good change, because usually we'll the teachers are really frustrated because we do it when we get back from winter break and it breaks up everything and you're already not in the flow. So I think that doing it the days before will be a really good kind of get out for all the students. So we're doing it the 15th and 16th, and then the dance will be on the 17th. More to come with that kind of as we go through that. And then the junior class is planning their prom, and their location has been chosen, and we're still waiting to reveal, I guess. I have no idea what it is. So then a couple other things, the programs of studies, which are all those class offerings for what will be next year, are underway right now, and we will be done before the holiday break. On December 21st, there'll be the academic and department student awards, so that's when the teachers come through, give their awards to specific kids that maybe excel or show leadership in their class, however. The students right now are registering for the Hartford Area Career Technical Center for the 24 to 25 school year, and I think that deadline is January 10th, so they still have some time to do that. And then something that I also talked about in the last meeting, just a reminder that that PSAT, SAT prep is really important on the Khan Academy. And then the Granite State Challenge actually went to the qualifying event at Plymouth High School. They didn't qualify for the GSC, but they did really well. And then a couple other things, the All New England Choral Festival was on the 25th, and we had multiple Mascoma students. We actually had that and the band festival. Lots of students participated in that, and they were both held at Plymouth State, excuse me. One of our students, Jillian, had auditioned and was selected for soloist, which is really cool. And then also, our own chair played in the concert with the band.
You put that in your.
Yeah,
Yep, yes I did.
and then, so the Mascoma joined a ice hockey co-op with Lebanon and Stevens, which is huge for us because we've never had anything like that here. And there was a couple boys really pushing for that, and they pulled through. They had their first game last night. I heard it was rough, but I'm sure it'll get better. And then some, myself included, and some other National Honor Society students this past Friday went and read to the preschool grades at EVS. And we buy a bunch of new books, and we go over and they can choose whatever books, and we read probably 5. And then before we leave, they get to pick whatever one they want. That's a brand new book, and they can take it home. And that was really enjoyed. All the kids really appreciate that, and I really liked it myself too. And then girls and boys basketball has started, as well as wrestling. Progress reports came out on December 8th. There was a FAFSA information night that's held by Granite Advance on December 12th. And then the winter concerts will be on the 15th and 16th. And we start our holiday break on December 22nd. We are back on the 3rd.
Cool. Any questions for Sophia?
No, but I love this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love this.
It's
Is
a new
great.
thing I'm trying out.
It's great.
No, it's very helpful.
Yeah, definitely. What was I going to ask? I forgot what I was gonna ask. Oh, what hockey? So are we are there students who know that there's hockey games that they can go to and cheer their?
Yeah, so there's,
Peers on
I mean,
stuff?
it's not like a huge thing yet, and most kids are like, well, I don't know basketball.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some kids that went to the hockey game last night to cheer them on. So yeah, I think, and it's yeah, definitely. And I think it'll get
It's
bigger.
new. It's new. Yeah.
Yeah, it's new, and I think with coming years, I think a lot of people play hockey and they can't really here because it's just not an option.
Yeah.
Even with younger, before you get into high school, there's Hanover teams, and that's kind of it. So I think it's a really good opportunity, and it'll definitely get bigger for us.
Yeah. Definitely.
And students Mascoma students can get into Campion Rink for free.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
betcha, I
For
didn't-
these games, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
that's interesting.
Awesome, so
Yeah.
yeah, we
If
should,
you're from, so yeah, if you're a student in Lebanon, Stevens, or Mascoma, now you can
Now
go
you
to
can- oh,
the,
that's super cool.
you can go to
Games.
home games at least,
all
Right.
right,
for free.
Huh.
all right, let's promote them.
That's
Let's
good
get
to
them.
Saw that on the,
Yeah,
on the page.
Sure.
maybe it'll.
All right.
More people go.
Any other questions or anything else? All right. That being the case, I'm going to reopen, we had tabled the minutes,
Yep.
so I'm going to reopen our, there's a motion on the floor to approve the minutes from 11:28, public and non-public. And just want to reiterate, for minutes approval, you do not have to abstain if you were not there. If you feel better abstaining, great, but you can vote to approve minutes. You're just voting that these are minutes. Yes, they are. You're not voting on the validity necessarily of them. You can say that. That being said, any comments, questions, concerns, corrections on the minutes from the 28th?
I got a question.
Yes.
On the, oh, wait a minute, I mean, we're not doing, no, I'm too far ahead.
Regular minutes.
I'm looking at the budget committee minutes, so I
Oh.
wanna wait
Okay,
on that one.
wait till that one.
Yeah.
All right, anything else on our regular minutes?
It was a short meeting, so I didn't.
It was a very short meeting, that's right, and then we quorumed out of there. All right, all those in favor of approving minutes, public and non-public, from 11:28, signify by saying aye. Aye. Nays and abstentions? All right, okay, all good. I keep moving this around, but that's my agenda, that's what I'm following. All right, next on our agenda, we have the budget committee. And so you have the budget committee minutes in there, in your packet. Did you have anything specific on that, Amanda? Talk to you about it?
To give this report,
Yeah, or, well, it says on the, yeah. It just says budget committee continuing business from the 4th. That was, I'm assuming, the meeting that we were at last week.
yeah, so this was the joint committee meeting.
Yep.
You do have the written minutes in front of you. You'll see that a few things were reviewed. I think most people here were there. We reviewed a little bit of what happened at the work session. We made sure to thank the budget committee for their hard work. Knowing that we were coming in at around 3%, the actual number falls at 3.2. And then it was approved, and you also voted to approve it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So my comment is, on, it's number 4, after the public comment. Did you pick that up? So the meeting got turned over to Tim so
Yep.
that we could take our preliminary vote.
Yep.
Right. But it shouldn't read that Chair
Yes.
Josephson
Yes.
stated? Okay.
Yeah, well,
So do we take that back to the budget committee?
I
So that
think,
they're aware of that? Era?
Can you explain that again?
on the second page, it's like the right above where it says Part 5 adjournment, it says Chair Sanborn, it should be me, Chair Josephson, because I said if we have more than 5 members present at our future meeting, we'll
Okay.
vote again on it.
Yeah.
Meaning the
Meaning the
board?
school
the
board,
school
the school
board.
board, yeah, yeah.
So that
Gotcha.
sentence isn't very clear.
Yes, all right. We can give that to them,
Well, I can
or
put
you
it
can
in
correct
here.
it and then,
I can put it in here that it was just mentioned.
yeah.
Yeah,
That it should be Chair Josephson instead of Chair Sanborn just before the adjournment.
yeah, that works.
Because they're not meeting again until January
And,
anyway, so.
and then it'll be there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if there anything comes up.
All right,
Thank you.
Should we correct
There's a
the
typo with
abstain?
my name too, if you're putting it, if you're putting it
Huh?
in there. There's a typo with.
What?
Oh, no!
in the last name.
Sorry, Danielle.
That's okay.
My chauffeur.
I answered to many things, and it still sounds the
So
same.
I got my freedom back tonight.
Should still be right.
Yeah.
all right. Any other questions about the budget committee meeting we had last week? All right. All right, next we have finance and facilities. You see the minutes in your packet. Corrado gave us update on his report. They're gonna be replacing the motors on the basketball gym hoops, or the gym basketball hoops here in the high school. They're going from 1 motor to 2 motors, so they're individual instead of all at once. Gave some other updates on the energy class prize he's working on. I talked a little bit about that. Just talked other random things about, the SAU office is the most inefficient building in the district. Just stuff about, if you may notice, the snow barriers up the hill, talked about that. Talked a bunch about the gym floors being slippery and walking on floors with outdoor shoes versus indoor shoes, and maybe they need to just kind of lock down on that. Johnson Controls was there to give a report on their energy report. If you're interested, you can get a copy of that from the SAU. But they have it's done pretty nicely, saving money with all the upgrades they did during the renovation. So talk again, the SAU office is our opportunity for improvements. Also talked a little bit more about possible solar projects, cash flow of that, and things like around that. The issue we have with the land at the SAU is that you have no good place to tap into the grid. So that is, we'll have to look at that. But Johnson is going to put together a plan for us to kind of just show us what they can do. So we'll see, we'll start from there. Talked about Energy Star, talked about, Johnson was even talking about like river hydro and all sorts of stuff. So then they gave their presentation. Then we went to the CIP, talked a little bit about that, gave some new updates, and you'll see a copy of that shortly, probably the next board meeting. It always changes, it's a fluid document. Audit numbers have been sent in, budget we already talked about. Cafe services, they're at about a $20,000 loss right now as of the end of October. She'll request from the state out of unassigned fund balance to pay an invoice from Fresh Picks and pay for equipment. So we have a cafeteria equipment capital reserve fund, and they're going to start using that. They're going to use that to purchase some stuff this year. But we did know there was going to be a loss because we did not raise lunch prices. So even if we raised them, what they suggested, we still have a loss. So no updates from transportation and driver's ed. We talked a little bit about how Lebanon holds evening classes. We're going to see if there's any opportunity for them to cross over here. But their classes run about $7.95. So that's that. Talked about manifest. We did do a little bit of policy work, which you'll see here coming later down the pipe in the meeting. And talked again about the CES ball field, and hopefully they fix that collapsed dugout. So, the energy report is attached to the minutes there, all the way down at the bottom. I just scrolled the minutes. Any questions on that? Finance facilities. All right. Next, communications committee.
So you've got the minutes. Thanks, Sophia. You've got the minutes from communications in your packet. We spent time talking about the need for us to start looking at website redesign. It seems like this is the new website, but it actually is closer to 5 years old now. And so thinking about what we need to improve on, what's out there, what's the most economic way to approach this so that people in the community can find what they need to. So you'll see that there's some discussion around that. And we'll be following that up at our next meeting. We also talked about the sign. So the sign at the bottom of the hill here for the Royal Road campus is nearing the end of its life, and so we had Craig work with vendor to try to get some quotes and just some more information about things. And we also talked about the need for a new sign at Canaan Elementary. The Enfield one seems to be updated regularly and not necessarily as much of an issue as the one in Canaan. And so we want to make sure that the Canaan community and the elementary school community has the opportunity to share out notes of interest and important things just as easily. So again, Craig is doing some additional research as far as what are the possibilities and how do we best go forward with that, how to fit them into an upcoming year's budget and that sort of thing. And let's see what else. Some policy conversations. We'll see some coming to the board in January out of that. Our next meeting is going to be held on February 1st. And you do see in your packet, just for for reference, some of the materials that we had collected when we were looking at in 2020, looking at different vendors for websites, so you can see kind of there, and then also what it looks like now. And it doesn't have the full complement of different products that we looked at and that Craig is researching, so you can expect to see more of that or to hear more about that after our February meeting. And then the quote is for the sign, replacement of the sign down here. And this is the technology part of it, not the actual sign itself, like the wooden sign holder. We would anticipate still being able to use. It's really just looking at the components, bless you, including the like the radio signal that is how the office can talk to the sign to decide what's, or not to decide, but to actually put the message on the sign so that people can see it. So there's some information there about some initial offerings that the vendor was able to work with Craig on.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
So when you say end of life, it's just,
It's gonna just die.
Yeah.
Like, it just won't transmit, it won't show anything, or it might start like flat doing
are we
stuff.
having trouble already, or?
It'll flatline.
We have had trouble with it
Yeah.
in the past.
Yeah.
I would say a year or two ago, we did have trouble with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
this
there a
was,
warranty?
oh, this has been, they don't make this one anymore.
Yeah.
It's long out of warranty. Like, it was really, how did I say it? It was one of the cheaper ones
Yeah.
when we started, and they
Yeah.
were already not making these kinds.
Okay.
Like,
We probably got a clearance deal as the construction was happening, and
Okay.
yeah.
And this is just one, if, we
Yeah.
do need to move through with it, we would need to obtain more bids than just this
Right,
one.
Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah, this was just to give us a reference point,
Yeah.
so that it's not a
Totally.
total shocker
Yeah.
if it dies and it comes to us or comes to some,
mhm.
subcommittee to take a look at.
Yeah. But knowing this in advance, we can budget for it,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
So I wanted to add,
Yeah.
you might need some clarity on the minutes because I think you should put down an e-sign. So that it's clear that we're talking about the electronic, because your attachment won't necessarily be referenced if someone looks at the minutes. And to answer Hope's question, the average life of any electronic device now is like 4 years and it's done.
Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point.
We'll put that on, of course, these are just the draft minutes because the meeting was
Yeah.
just held last week, so thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. All right, anything else for communications? Okay. Superintendent's report. You have that in your packet.
Yep, you do have my written report in your packet. It just talks briefly about the holiday concert, so you'll see we have one the 15th and the 16th for the high school, and then the Indian River schools will be on the 18th here in the high school auditorium at 7 p.m. We just encourage the community to come and see that. We do anticipate quite a showing for the high school one. It is Disney themed, and I do know a lot of people already bringing their kids, so it should be pretty exciting.
A lot of students will be in costume on stage.
Yep,
So-
Amy has done a very nice job of promoting that, talking about taking pictures with the kids before and after, or at some point. So people really have noticed that and do plan on dressing up and heading to the concerts. We do have holiday break coming up, December 22nd to January 2nd. We will be doing some work in the buildings. There's a few days worth of time, but it's a good time for us and our custodial crew to be able to get some of those small projects done. So we'll be doing that. A little thank you to the school board, and we're hoping that people here in the district take some time to relax, rejuvenate. We are seeing some outbreaks of strep throat in some of our schools, which is kind of refreshing that I'm not saying COVID. So, we do hope that people take some time. We will be doing some disinfecting and hopefully cleaning out the cooties.
Yes, sanitize. All right. Any questions for Amanda on that?
Just have a comment about COVID, you brought it up. So I have a friend that works at the Sunapee School District, and he himself came down with, confirmed with COVID on Monday, and they reported 26 people confirmed cases at the Sunapee School.
Wow, that's a lot.
So there's clusters popping
Yeah.
up everywhere.
Yeah, I know where my mother-in-law lives, her apartment building, they've canceled all sorts of activities, it's just going through there.
Time to be cautious.
Yep. Be cautious. Wash your hands, mask off. All right. Anything else for Amanda on there? All right, business administrator's report, the financials are in your packets. Any questions for Amanda? Or if you have any specific questions, she'll get them over to Deb. I did not. Anybody have anything? That was fine. All right then. Coming up next on our agenda here under new business, we have a donation of $1,321 from the Hannaford Helps Schools program. They announced that they are donating $1,321 for Enfield Village School. So I will entertain a motion to accept that donation.
Can we accept the donation of $1,321 from Hannaford for the Enfield Village School?
Okay,
I'll second.
and Kathleen seconds. All right, any discussion on this?
Is this through the PTA, that EVS?
I don't think so. This is just like when people put their receipts in, at, like you go to Hannaford and they have like, you know, when you're walking out the door, they have a thing with like a whole bunch of schools and like little slots. You can pick whatever school, area schools, like if you put your receipt in, Hannaford will donate a percentage of whatever you spent to that school. So that's where this program comes from. I
Somebody
think,
EVS signed up, not, you know, I mean, I guess I understand, but.
yeah, I don't know how they do
How
it.
it got signed, and not like CES, or, you know what I mean? that-
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that they sign up for that. I could be wrong. I'm not sure what the process is. I think Hannaford's just donates to local schools.
I think people are able to put any of the local districts, schools on that board. It's kind of like the co-op does one too, like when you go to checkout,
Oh, yeah.
certain times a year, there's like 3 things you can pick from if you want to round up and donate, so.
Yeah.
we're just taking it.
I guess I'm just a little uncomfortable if it's a regional district that CES and EVS, you know, wasn't, I don't know. I just thought it was a PTA thing, but.
It's a good
I
question.
mean, it is a good question. It might be the PTAs that initially,
Initiated it,
get them on the list.
Get their foot in the door,
Yeah.
I guess. Maybe.
And help to promote it.
That's true too. Yeah, PTA
well,
would
no, that's
promote
what
it,
I
yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be that CES is on the list, but no one knows about it, and
Or
so they just
promoted
don't
it.
think about it.
Yeah.
They just want to get the heck out of the store.
And we only see it if it's over $1,000. We only see it if it's over $1,000.
Yeah, true.
If they got it and it
True.
was $990, we'd never know about it.
Good
Well,
point.
here at this level,
Yeah.
they obviously know the school. So.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
Maybe
Any-
we could check with Deb Ford and see if she's got some more information to share on that.
Yeah, if she
I
can.
bet she knows the school.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I can check. I am not sure. I can tell you that no one, Jamie did not solicit this.
Okay.
So I'm not sure, but it has been something that typically Enfield Village School is represented on that. I have seen that in years past. I do not know why Canaan is not included, or if they did receive any money. That I can find out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'd like to know.
That is a legit, piece of information that we should have.
Yeah.
They may also rotate throughout the year and do like some schools part of the year. I don't know. Well, yeah, we can find out. So
IRS might also be on that list. I never see high schools on things
no,
like
none of
this,
those things.
but definitely elementary schools, and every once in a while, IRS would be on that on these sort of things.
Well, next time I'm in Hannaford, I'll ask the manager.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Any further discussion on that? All right. Call for the vote. All those in favor of approving the Hannaford Help Schools Program donation to EVS for $1,321 signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Abstentions? And that passes. All right. Thank you very much, Hannaford, and all those who shopped there. Thank you. Coming up next is a discussion on our warrant articles. So you can see that we have here our typical, we're just going to talk about this now because we don't have to have our votes in on this until January, until after the public hearing.
Correct.
So-
What I'm looking for is an approval of the draft to send to the DRA.
Okay, thank you. All right. So you can see here we do have, we are voting for a school district moderator this year, the school district clerk, 2 board members, 1 from Canaan, 1 from Enfield, 2 budget committee members, 1 from Canaan, 1 from Enfield. Article 5, you have the operating budget in the amount of $32,538,421 is the operating budget proposed. $31,775,785 is the default. So that's what happens if the budget does not pass. We do the default, which is things from this current year, plus and minus obligations. Article 6 is funding capital reserve. Administration is recommending a $250,000 deposit to capital reserve. That for the facilities capital reserve. That is in line with our previous looking at our CIP kind of projections and how much we need to put into that. So we had said 250 going forward will keep us going. And this all comes out from surplus, unexpended surplus, so no additional taxation. Next one is special ed. They're hopefully going for 50,000. We can talk about these numbers specifically. Going through it. And then number 8, we have accreditation activities, because we will be coming up on accreditation here at the high school again. It rolls around every time. So $5,000 into that. And then major systems, capital reserve. Major systems is things like beyond what your facilities would be. So things like HVAC, right? Things like big electric, like the phone system, that sort of thing. So it's not one we have a lot in, but not one that we use a lot, but when we do need it. So putting 20,000 there, and then you'll see the last article on here. This is one that we had requested, and the budget committee requested, and Corrado had worked on. So this is establishing a sustainability capital reserve fund, and so they're recommending $50,000 to place in this fund for the purpose of addressing energy and environmental sustainability, to improve building environments for students and staff, and to raise an appropriate $50,000. The idea behind this is that way we have some money that we can access as a board, so that way when we have applications and grants that we need to match or anything like that, we have that money available to be able to say, yes, we have this match. But also the idea is that the savings that we get from any kind of sustainability initiative we do on, like, rewiring, taking out bulbs and putting LEDs in or something like that, whatever we save from that, we can put back into this fund. So that's what we have for our articles. So we've already done the budget, but any discussion on the different capital reserves, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10? Anything on 6?
I have a question on 6. Because of the order of the article is like the priority of how the money's going to be divvied up. So I'm assuming that there must be some dire need to beef up the capital reserves.
It is, projecting on what we were putting into it. If we had continued down that path, we would not have been able to meet what we were projecting we'd need.
Okay.
So last year, Deb looked at it as well as with Rob, and was like, it should be more like 250 a year rather than the 150 or 175 or 100 or 150 that we had been putting in.
Yeah, I remember hearing some discussion about that previously.
So the next few years are very expensive. There's like 400,000 2 years in a row, and over a 10-year period, it's like $2 million plus.
Yeah.
So it's just to kind of
get to that
spread
goal.
us out over that. Looking forward, spreading us out over that 10 years.
Because one of the things that has to come out, that hasn't come out yet, but it's already been budgeted for, is the skylights, finishing the skylights at Indian River. Also, when there's like a roof at UVS.
Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me, but
You've got skylights, you've got a roof at UVS, the HVAC at library, and some air exchange. Some of that money's coming from the ESSER funds, this is the last year, right?
Yeah.
This is no more.
This is last
Yeah.
year.
So that'll be done, and then there's still an additional in 2026, so that would not be ESSER funds, I assume. So, thermostats, some boilers projected, parking lot repaving, anyways, it goes on.
yeah.
The big ones are the HVAC and the skylights, and the roof.
Yeah.
I thought we had most of that money, that's for Indian River skylights, right?
Yeah, that's already in, and that's, if you see the balance of the, she hasn't moved it over, we have it ready to go. But the balance of it hasn't been spent yet, so that's why it's still floating in there.
Right, because I was under the, I understood that the reason why they weren't done was because they weren't available to be shipped.
That's still,
Not that we didn't have the money.
Right.
The first, so remember that there was also a significant increase in building projects that happened because of COVID. And originally we had those, do we have those split out into 3 series still? I believe we're doing
Yes.
the gym skylight, which is the $750,000 project, am I correct?
Probably.
It feels like.
So I see 2025, skylight phase 2, offices and classrooms, and it says cost FY 2025 $100,000.
Do you see where the gym one should have happened in FY '24, and that's the one we had
Yeah.
to pull the money from.
Right.
So
Right.
next year,
That's not on here.
we'll be looking at the leaking skylights in the office, outside of the gym, in the amphitheater, and in the classrooms.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you're right, Kathleen.
all right. Any other discussion on capital reserve, fund, facilities capital reserve? Article 6, Article E. All right, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, will we be tweaking the order further?
Yeah, we could, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I was kind of thinking move sustainability up to number 6 and then bump everything else down.
I was thinking something similar,
Okay.
where this has been something we've talked about for a little bit, and if we want to make a stab at that, yeah, so that we are able to.
Sure. I would not recommend putting it above
Capital reserve.
capital reserves though.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna confuse
Yeah.
people
Okay.
if you put them side by side.
Let me see, add this all up. 250, 300, 305, 325, 375 is the total, so that's really not that. Yeah, okay.
You tell the voters that.
I know, right? Yeah, I tell voters that. But, considering how tightly we run our budgets and how much we typically try to have for unexpended surpluses that we return to towns every year, we return a substantial amount of money back to the towns each year. And so, none of this.
But that's not looked on favorably
I know.
because it's their money that
Yeah,
they pay taxes on and they
Yeah.
don't appreciate it.
as do I.
Sitting there for what they call a slush fund.
This
right.
one is not, though. This one definitely parses out year by year, right?
Yeah.
It definitely is getting spent as it goes along.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think the ending balance after that 10 years, there would be $600,000, in the reserve after that. In other
After
words,
the 10 years, and that's assuming you're
Yeah, that's
continually.
assuming everything works out the way it should, so.
But there are times where
And
that
that's
it
not
dips
a-
down pretty low.
For a district, for buildings that are worth this much, I don't think that's a reasonable amount to have.
No,
To move
it's a
forward.
prudent practice, but not
Yeah.
easily understood.
Agreed.
Right. Yeah, no, but I agree that, yes, you shouldn't have,
No,
unless you have a vision and you're working on it, then sure.
yeah. I was mostly talking about the stuff at the end of the year. That's all. All right, special ed capital reserve, any questions, concerns on that one? In the amount of 50,000, what's the current, how are we doing? We're doing okay on that one. I know we had to make some big contributions a few
Yeah,
years ago.
currently you have $683,000
All right, so that's,
there. But once again, I can look at one out-of-district placement, taking $500,000 of that.
yeah,
So, we've put in low and slow on that
Mhm.
fund, I think, $50,000 is a kind of a low and steady amount rather than asking for 250 or 500.
yeah. Fund accreditation, that's the same 5,000. We've just continually asked 5,000 for like 4 years in a row because that comes up every 10 years. And so the 4 years prior to our accreditation, it's a $20,000 cost, give or take. By saving that up, then we don't have to eat $20,000 in one school year. So that's always smart. Major systems, capital reserve, questions on that?
currently sitting at 78,000.
Yeah, and you can see what he's got there, of like what he's, does it say there in this one? Yeah. Like I said, those are for like literal major systems, which are things like telephones, things like HVAC, things like that. And then sustainability. So this asks for $50,000 to be placed in that fund for the purpose of addressing energy and environmental sustainability to improve building environments. I would add, and efficiency. That was what I would add. Improve building environments and efficiency.
Sure.
Because I want people to know that like we're trying to do this to save money ultimately. Save energy, which saves money. So that would be my recommendation. But I'm open to whatever other people say.
Yeah, I don't mind adding in the efficiency in there as well. I would like to see this higher than 10, maybe not 6, but higher than 10. Just because with the energy grants and all of that work, it just seems like we would want something in place, and at least with some starter funds in it, if there becomes an opportunity for us to really leverage some of either the grant projects or something.
Could we do it Article 7? Do our facilities, fund capital facilities reserve, and then establish a sustainability capital reserve, and then fund special ed, fund accreditation, fund major systems.
Then you've got it right after Article 6, right?
Yeah.
I would like to avoid that. Let's just put it between,
How about 8?
yeah, before 8?
All right, so after 7?
Make it
So after special ed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, because that way special ed's covered. And then we do accreditation, major systems. All right.
So as of today, that's our suggestion, right?
That sound good to people? Seeing no objections? That good to do facilities, special ed, then sustainability, then accreditation, then major systems? Would you flip major systems and accreditation because accreditation is easier to buy $5,000 in case it doesn't pass? I don't know.
Say that again?
Because accreditation is such a small number comparatively, I
Yeah.
wonder if that's best to put last? I don't know.
I honestly do need that money, or else it's gonna come out of the general budget,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
For accreditation, I
Yeah.
do need that balance to be, it's at 17 right now, I do need it to be at least $20,000 to pay for accreditation.
Yeah, I don't want to take out the general.
Yeah.
It's like, it's easier to find 5,000 than it is 20,000.
So just keep fund accreditations at Article 9. And then Article 10 will be major systems.
Yep. That works. Any objections to the order? Amanda, how's that sound? Does that work?
I think that's fine. I do want you all to remember that we have that grant funding of $100,000 that is in the, in a different account, and I shouldn't say grant funding, it was a gift from the Renew America Schools grant, or the Energy Champion grant came with $100,000 for us to use for projects. Corrado is looking at another $50,000 as a gift for us to be able to use there also. So we do have that money that will not be put into this account,
Right.
but it is there to be used for projects.
Okay.
Should this vote not pass
Okay.
on the sustainability.
So we're okay for the year?
Yeah,
We
I
try again
imagine
next year
that
if
we
it
are
doesn't
able to fund out the projects that he has listed for the immediate future out of that money. It will take a while for this grant to come up to where we would be able to use it for some of the major projects that we would want to do.
That makes sense.
So we haven't spent that yet.
We have spent pieces of it, but not much of it.
So we didn't have to use it for tuition, to.
No, the
or-
tuition was included, all his classes were
Mhm.
included.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because we didn't have to hire somebody.
That's right.
Correct.
That's a big
You're
plus.
correct.
All right.
All right. Any other questions on those? Okay. All right, so up next, we do have our default budget here for approval for us to send off to the state. And I'll entertain a motion on that.
We don't have to vote on
We
this.
do have to vote on this one. We do, because we do have to send our default budget to the state.
So do you want a motion?
Yes, I would love a motion.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve the warrant articles as amended.
Oh, no, not the warrant articles, the default
that's
budget.
right.
No, I do need a,
Oh,
I
you-
would like a
oh.
vote on those.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay,
All right,
so,
sure, go ahead.
so we'll do it as the warrant articles
Yes.
as presented for the 2024 year,
As amended.
As amended?
as amended, yes.
All right. And do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Then, and this is just on having them like this. This is not voting up or down on each item, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just to
submitting.
be clear, we're gonna do that at our January hearing.
just as presented.
Yes.
Yeah,
We'll
draft.
vote, you know, school board recommends up or down on things later on in January. But this is just, do we want it in this order? Are these the questions we want on there?
And we want to submit them.
And we want to submit this to the state, because the state has to see it, so. All right, any further discussion on those? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Abstentions? All right, we're good to go on that. All right, next now, the default budget. And we'll need approval of that as well.
Question that we approve the 2024 default budget, MSDSB, for submission to the state
Yeah.
in the amount of 31,770.
Everyone
Well,
really-
31 million, I would, yeah. 31,775,785 dollars.
All right,
Second.
and Kathleen seconds that. All right, any discussion on the default budget? As explained, this is prior year's adopted budget with any reduces or increases plus any one-time appropriations taken out, so. Any questions? Comments, concerns? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Abstention. All right. And up next in your packet, you have the CIP in its current iteration for the next fiscal year 24. As we discussed there, you can see some of all the projects that are laid out with the dollar signs by the years. So I'll entertain a motion to approve this.
Make a motion to approve the capital improvement plan as of 12/12/23.
Okay.
I'll second.
And Kathleen seconds that. Any discussion on that? Questions, etc.? Yeah, like you said, this coming year is the big one. It's got some skylights as well as the EVS roof. Next year is a CES roof, as well as the phone systems, as well as some of that HVAC work, which is being covered. So, all right. Any comments? Anything else on that one? All right. All those in favor of the capital improvement plan as presented signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Abstentions. All right. That one's good to go. All right. Budget. We can wait on that. We'll table that for now because we've already voted on it, and we only have 5 people here still. So.
Right.
All right. Up next, we have a couple second readings. I'm going to table the second reading on district signage because I have not yet addressed the lawyer's concerns, which is fine. But I'll bring that back in January after I take a look at that. But policy ACN. Brewster told me to shut my mouth and let you guys talk about this. Nursing mothers accommodations. So, yeah. I don't know what you guys wanted to do with this.
So I have a question. It pertains just to mothers. What if you have a single parent male and the child has to be fed? Do they get the use of these private rooms and all the other things that go along with it?
Well, if they have the baby with them, I suppose they would.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
They wouldn't have the baby there.
The baby has to be fed.
Right, but the baby wouldn't be here.
Why wouldn't it be?
Well, why would you have your baby here? Like this
Why would
doesn't.
it be
This doesn't
different
talk
for a
about
male and a female?
because this doesn't talk about like an
Well,
actual
I think this is
baby
for
being here. This is
I
talking
think
about.
it's pumping.
The pumping,
Okay.
expressing.
But it doesn't say that.
No.
No.
It
Wait,
doesn't say that.
yeah,
Please tell me
I think
what.
it does, Kathleen. So the statement of purpose in it, if you look at the final sentence in the first paragraph, it says nursing for the purpose of this policy will include expression of milk by manual or mechanical means.
It says will include.
Which means there's something else.
It'd be
You're right.
yeah,
That's good point.
yeah. It's not like a mama room,
No.
right, so it's not for public use.
Okay, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, well, I
It could
mean,
be challenged.
yeah, and you know
I
what?
mean, I did, I
Handwrite
did
it
check,
down.
I
That's your
did
batch.
check in with some colleagues at the Women's Health Resource Center. I couldn't do a straight comparison of the Dartmouth Hitchcock policy because it's a little more advanced in its reading than what I think we're interested in. I still don't love it, but they suggested maybe a middle ground would be nursing parents accommodation,
About
because
just
that allows
take
for
out-
some of, like, you remove some of the gendered language, but
Right.
Yeah.
you don't, you're not referring to chest feeding, which is what our policy states, for example.
Right.
Because this does apply not only to employees, but also students. So,
True.
it is possible that there could be a student that,
Needs to use this policy and does not
Yes.
fit into other categories. I guess,
correct,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
And so we want to make sure that we're accommodating for that, but, yeah.
so we'd say nursing parent.
What do other schools have?
This
This
policy.
policy.
This is the sample from the New Hampshire School Board Association, correct? Yeah, so.
Yeah, maybe they didn't ask
They
you
also,
questions.
Kathleen, I will say, don't love the title, but no one's come up with anything better yet.
Just
Yeah.
drop the mothers.
Just nursing accommodations.
Yeah.
There's your accommodation.
Well,
This is for nursing at school. It's
yeah,
for
I would say
pumping.
nursing parents. I think nursing
So it's
parents.
for how a parent can pump
Yeah.
while they're at school.
Right.
And have
Right.
accommodation, so it's not nursing accommodation.
Right.
It's for
Oh,
the
oh,
parent
oh,
itself
oh,
who
yeah.
is
Right.
the nursing parent.
Right.
I was
This is
just
an accommodation
short
for the
and
grown
sweet.
up.
Yes.
Nursing parent.
Nursing parent, right.
All right, so if we change all word of mother to parent,
Okay, you got it.
that should be
Okay.
a quick find and
You
replace.
guys can have whatever you want there.
If it doesn't work, we'll fix it again.
That's right. Anything else on this?
No.
I thought it was good. It spells out a lot of things. Having, gone through this and known people that have gone through this, like having to struggle to find a place to like nurse and pump and that sort of thing. This is really good to have in the policy, so. All right. And you know what? I realized we didn't even take any motions on any of this stuff, so.
We did.
All right, well,
But this is the only one for
this is the only one for second
reading,
reading, so if you
Maybe-
want,
District
Yeah.
signage, is district signage.
well, I'm gonna table that one. I table that one.
Yeah.
Exercise my privilege as chair. Table that one. I'll bring it back next meeting.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we approve for second reading, policy ACN, nursing mothers accommodation.
Nursing parents accommodations.
Right, but do we, that would come in the,
Yes.
in the discussion
Corrections.
part, correct? Yeah,
Yes.
so.
All right. And do we have a second on that?
Give her a second on that.
All right, Kathleen, second. Okay, we can continue talking. So change mothers to parents, nursing parents,
Throughout the whole.
throughout the whole thing, right?
I don't think you need to make it plural, do you?
Just parent.
Yeah, nursing parents.
Well, you never know. There could be two of them at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it does say, in that statement of purpose, collectively nursing mothers, so
Yeah.
I would, if it's in the plural, I would keep it in the plural.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alphabet.
Yeah.
Anything else on this one?
Nope, somebody else's.
All right. Okay, we'll do a vote then on this one. All those in favor of approval and second reading and approval of policy ACN, nursing parents accommodations, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions. All right, that one's good to go. Now we have a bunch of first readings. If someone would like to handle those in a lump, and then we will deal with those one by one.
Motion that we approve for first reading, policy JLCF wellness, policy EBCC false alarms, bomb, active shooter, and other such threats, policy IKL academic honesty and integrity, policy EHAB data governance and security, policy JCA change of class of school or assignment, best interest and manifest status. Oh my God, that title is ridiculous. Policy JKAA, use of restraints and seclusion.
So I'll second.
What about key?
All right. So we have a first and a second on those. So we'll just start with policy JLCF wellness for first reading. And I'm
This
assuming
one is
yeah.
reviewed by the Wellness Committee. There's some little minor changes based on input from some of the school nurses and other members of the committee. But basically it's pretty much the same with some changes based on like FDA guidance or other like national, federal language that ties in mostly to the nutrition programs within the schools, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we added, do you want me to go over, I have the specific
Okay,
ones
sure.
here if you want me to just go through those. So we added school, so in section 1 under the district wellness committee, in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th paragraph, we added school nurses.
All right.
So that was a change. In the section 2, subset A paragraph, we changed that to the report should be completed annually and provided to the superintendent, talking about the action plan that we have. Next, we'll, got a lot of work here. Next, we'll jump to page 4, section G, nutrition promotion. The first bullet, it says implementation of at least 5 or more, so we put a specific number in that slot. And geez, that looks like it's about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we already have a pretty robust policy. This is updating it and bringing it more in line with, federal meal standards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And this is a required one basis for food, like school lunch program and other sorts of grants and programs that we participate in as a district.
The one that I see in here is for F, for food sale fundraising. I'm not suggesting we do any crackdowns, but I'm just wondering how compliant schools are with, schools may allow 9 bake sales or other fundraising food sales of non-compliant foods, which are no more than 1 day in duration each. I get it, stuff happens and stuff. I'm just wondering, is that a reasonable amount for the schools? Is that?
I think I think we talked about this at
Yeah,
some point. Yes, because this policy specifically says on school campus during the school day.
Mhm.
So it doesn't take into consideration concessions at
Okay.
games or stuff like that. So it's it would be like your all school stuff. So they've had things here at the high school, like root beer float, like FBLA,
Candy rams and
yeah,
stuff like that,
something
yeah.
like that. So those are different, and that fits within the 9, right?
Cool.
So
I'm just
it's
curious
essentially like once a month.
if somebody asks me,
Yeah,
because that's always something that
Yeah.
comes up.
but that was the language that provided that.
Cool.
Leeway.
The other thing that's on here is talking about competitive foods and beverages and marketing of. I know we have a scoreboard at IRS that has a big Coke logo on it, and it says immediate replacement of these items are not required. However, we should, when that is possible, we should look at that in the next coming few years. 'Cause it's probably already due to be replaced.
Yeah, it's been there a long time.
It's been there a long time.
It does work.
It works.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. If you're even questioning if it works.
Yeah, no, it works. They had to replace the console, I think,
Oh, okay.
a few years back.
Yeah, we should look at that in
Yeah.
the future budget. So, anything else on this one?
I have a question.
Yeah.
In the second paragraph on page 1, should we add, this policy outlines the Mascoma Valley Regional School District's approach?
The Jim Girding line. If you,
Yeah, because it talks about the
It is
board.
the first reference
district.
of the district.
Yeah, and then we break it down into the different departments, so.
just
That's
laughing.
fine.
Jim's been gone for so long, and yet here it's still
His
pops up.
legacy
His
lives
legacy
on.
lives on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is that, Kathleen?
Second paragraph. The word district.
This policy outlines.
So you want
the-
that to say MVRSD?
Yeah. I think that's the only place we need to put that in.
Yeah.
Because it does mention the board up above it.
Mm-hmm. Good catch. All right. Anything else on that? Wellness? All good? All right. Next one up is EBCC, false alarms, bomb, active shooter, and other such threats. This is not our crisis plan, this is our this is not our response plan, this is not the confidential one that's shared with emergency operations. This is just our very brief saying that we do have a plan, and we do talk to law enforcement. Were there any major changes on this one from what we already have? I don't think so.
No, this is,
Again,
this is a model from the School Boards Association. Hold on, let me get to pull these out. Our policy, it looks like our policy, oh, is this, I'm just checking to see this may be, no, this is an older policy, but this is updated because the previous policies only addressed bomb threats.
that's right.
So, and now we do have a lot of false hopes, threats
False
that are
shooters,
called in, and
false-
those
yeah.
are important to be addressed.
Yep. All right. Any comments, questions, concerns on any of that one?
Will this end up replacing another policy after we?
No,
Go
it'll,
through second
it'll
reading.
stay
A
on.
new one?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, up next is IKL, Academic Honesty and Integrity. And we already have this one, we adopted it last year. But we have reviewed this one again because it has a little more, another update from the School Board Association.
Yeah, you know, AI, the world of AI is changing so quickly that, you know, when you talk about plagiarism, you just have to keep ever evolving with it.
It's now number 2 on the prohibited behavior. It went from not being on the list at all to being number 2. And it's a list of, 10 different ways you can you can cheat and plagiarize, but that's already shot up to number 2. So, yep, teachers are having to learn how to deal with it. So, questions on this one?
I did also have Angel review this and talk about it with teachers to get their input, and they were pleased with the updates.
All right, up next we have EHAB, Data Governance and Security. And this one we do have on the books. We basically look at it almost every year because there's different adoption, different updates. As you can see, there's some statutes that got updated from the state.
I did also have Craig Suddy, the IT director, review this. He said pretty much it is verbatim, the old policy, just a couple of updates that pertain to a couple of new pieces of legislation that have gone through.
Okay, any questions on that?
I'm confused why it lists on the last page that it was reviewed for first reading on November 28th, and then again it has today's date on there.
Oh,
Because we
It's-
didn't.
Was it a committee?
yeah,
Oh, that's why.
it's
Okay.
reviewed, and then, yeah, I see the second.
It was the quorum.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay.
it's in my, I've got 2 of them now.
Yeah.
All right.
More paper.
Yeah. All right, then the next one we have JCA, change of class or school assignment, best interest and manifest hardship. And do you have any specific updates you wanted to talk about, Amanda?
Let's see. So, I better keep this organized here. Martha will be really
Martha will not be.
Martha will be really upset with me. So on GCA, you basically are looking at changes, just minor changes, and that's with some legislation. There was discussion in this about whether or not school districts are bound to provide transportation if the person is, I want to get it right, transportation under the section for manifest educational hardship, not change of assignment. So we did consult legal, our legal advisor, and that is number, let's see, so under section B, number 6, you would find the legal advice in there. And it looks like it says, let's keep going from version to version here. Shall not be the responsibility of the district unless otherwise ordered by the State Board of Education. That's what I hoped it said.
Yep. All right, questions on that one? No? All right. Oh, you?
Nope,
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, okay, like you're getting ready, like, yeah.
No. Okay.
All right, buckle in. All right, well, the last one we have here is JKAA. Again, this says JK, it's JKA, not 2A, it's just 1A. And this is about use of restraints and seclusion. Typically, this definitely has some state law updates to it as well, and this is very specific legalese, because we got to get this exactly right.
Yeah, there were some major changes made to
Yeah.
the way restraints and seclusion are administered and then reported. So Chris Biso did do that, did review this policy, and obviously said go with exactly what the legal updates are.
That's usually the best case in these.
And so you said that we're dropping one of the A's on the policy?
Well, I just noticed it was on the agenda as JKAA,
Yes.
but then the policy I'm reading in my packet is just JKA.
Oh, the one that we have here, it says JKAA.
We have 2 A's on
Oh.
I
Is
have
it wrong
one
on the
online.
online version?
It
Yeah.
looks like it.
It looks like that's wrong to me.
Okay, then AA.
It should be AA.
All right,
Oh, we're keeping it.
then ignore everything I said about that. Strike that. All right.
It's crazy that this has, last time we looked at it was 2015.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, how do they implement the training on something like this? You know,
So we
or
actually
retraining?
have Attorney Diana Fenton coming to review the way that we are doing we're implementing this policy here. Honestly, that we are waiting for the State Board of Education or the Department of Education is supposed to be providing us with a consistent reporting form. They're still working on that, so right now we're using an updated form that Chris Biso and his department has provided us. I've seen I've seen Diana Fenton's training and presentation on it. Chris Biso has also been there and has facilitated trainings through the special ed department.
All right. Any other questions on that one? All right. In that case, let's move to a vote. So we are voting on first reading for policy JLCF, wellness, policy EBCC, false alarms, bomb, active shooter, and other such threats, policy IKL, academic honesty and integrity, policy EHAB, data governance and security, policy JCA, change of class or school or assignment, best interest, and manifest status, and JKAA, use of restraints and seclusion. So that's what we are voting on. First reading for all of those. Any objections to voting on those as a whole? All right, seeing none. All those in favor of all those policies for first reading, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions. All right, those are good to go for first reading. We'll have them back again at our next meeting, which is the next thing on our agenda. Agenda items for next meeting. We'll have committee reports, warrant articles, more policy fun. Anything else on anyone else's mind that you'd like to have at our next meeting? Which,
You will probably have a sabbatical presentation from Tanya Ray.
Okay.
So we will be bringing that forward.
And we are, the date of our next
yes,
meeting.
that was what I was going to say next. So we always pencil in we go the full month. We pencil in the 26th of December. But if anyone really wants to be here, speak now. But otherwise, we can skip that meeting and continue, because our next one in January, it would be January 9th. So that would be the second Tuesday in January. Our next meeting would be January 9th, if that's okay with everybody.
I'm good with that.
All right.
Candace, do you know if that's something that you'll be able to attend?
Yeah, I was out because of medical stuff,
Okay,
so there was no way around it.
okay,
Cool.
not a problem. So I might not be there
Okay.
for that one.
All right, good to know.
Yeah,
And we know Bruce won't be there, but I'll check with Vicky, make sure.
okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, anything else for next meeting, the 9th of January? Warrant articles, that fun stuff. All right. And last but not least, we have our other public comment time. Any other public comment from anybody? Yes, Mr. Kaiser.
Because it came up in the warrant articles tonight, I'm trying to figure this out.
Sure.
You have a CIP plan that has the capital reserve. You also have a major system, which I would hope would be in the CIP plan, because the two examples you gave are actually in the CIP
CIP
plan.
plan, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe finance and facility over the next year might want to talk about, can we combine those two funds? Which would also make your CIP fund a little more robust.
Yeah.
Because in looking at the CIP plan, you'd have $11,000 in 2 years.
Yeah.
So you might think, obviously it would have to be a warrant article
Right.
next year
Right.
to combine the two funds, but
Good thought.
it sure would make a lot of sense.
Well, the phone one is in the CIP.
Yeah, the phone, both the phone
Yeah.
and the HVAC are in
Yeah,
the CIP.
yeah, it's two things I fixed.
Yeah.
Well, and it,
And those are the major systems.
Right. Right.
And the other thing was, it says it's $600,000 at the end of the year, at the end of 10 years. Believe me, there's a lot of things that are gonna happen that are not
Yeah.
on that plan.
You'll find a lot of
Somebody
ways to
who's
spend that
chairman of the
600.
CIP and Enfield, believe me, you
That-
can draw down 600,000 in a year.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about there being too much going in there.
Yeah.
So,
That doesn't even
That's it.
talk about inflation.
well, it doesn't, that's,
10 years
no
from now,
CIP has inflation.
Yeah, yeah. Any other public comment?
Well, I just gotta say that, it was really a great meeting. I mean, you folks really run through everything very thoroughly. You have a very good chemistry amongst you all, and I think that's a real positive thing for the school district. So, as I leave, I commend you.
Oh, thank you.
I know
Thank you
you
for your
work a lot
comments.
at this.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and you got the public to deal with, like people like me. But I'll-
Please, you're welcome.
No,
I'll
it's
go
him.
with-
No, I did.
It's me that
You
does
can
it.
probably
I'm
get
the
a ride
one.
together.
Please, no, you're please welcome anytime.
Yes.
Thanks for
We
coming
appreciate
by.
your
We really
comments.
appreciate your
Thank
comments,
you.
yeah.
Just to bring up your
Nice to meet
inflation,
you.
Yeah.
pre-COVID,
Yeah.
police cruisers were $35,000, they're now $60,000.
I was gonna guess 70, but yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
are.
they're
Because you know what? They all want
That's why I'm
hybrids.
driving at 12.
They all want
Yeah.
hybrids now.
We're
I
all
was-
hybrid,
Yep, because you know what? I work in a hybrid, and man, it's so nice to sit in a hybrid.
which is the other side. You don't see the gas savings that you make.
That's right.
It's a big piece.
It's a huge
Yeah.
part of it, yeah. Yeah.
But you can't do electric.
Yeah.
No.
No,
I'm
no.
good with a hybrid.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Mr. Kiley.
Thanks.
Good night, Dan.
Good night.
All right, so we do have here, we have a staff nomination here on our green sheet for regular public. So I'll entertain a motion on that one.
Make a motion that we approve the staff nomination as presented.
Second,
And we have a second. All right, so we really have NEC still there?
We do, we have,
Where is it?
the NEC program is a contracted service in at IRS.
Okay, all right, so it is still technically.
So it
NEC.
truly is
Okay,
called NEC.
all right, good. I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions, comments on that?
so, but when I asked Chris about it, he said that the employees are ours.
So,
And we're using their software or something? Is that?
so we have always owned the NEC employees, and by employees, I mean paraprofessionals.
Right.
What we get from NEC is their software, and we get their expertise through a special educator that's highly trained to work with the type of students that are in the program.
So that is not our employee?
That is not our employee.
Okay, that's paid for by NEC?
That's correct, as well as behavioral consultant services.
Okay.
And they're able to give us like very specific consulting on the kids that we have, or the situations that our parents get into.
So do they supervise our employees?
So our employees are under the direction, right? They go through
Yeah.
training, calm training.
Yeah.
And they are under the direction there, but as far as continued employment, that would be at the discretion of the principal of the building.
Are they union?
Yeah, they would fall into the support
Parity.
staff.
Okay, sports staff union, okay. All right. Any other questions on that one? All right, all those in favor of approving the nomination as presented signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Abstentions. All right, that one's good to go. Non-public, looks like we do have one for at least a tuition contract. Do you have other stuff too?
We do have hiring.
Hirings, okay. So for hirings and tuition contract, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion, but I forgot to mention
Oh.
this during our public comment,
Yes.
that I did actually find a little bit more information about the Hannaford program, on the 2023 participating schools list, which will continue without any further action needed for 2024. Canaan Elementary School is listed, EVS is listed, IRS is listed, and the high school is listed.
Okay.
So maybe it's just an opportunity for us to better promote that as an option. And also to note that there is a Canaan Elementary School ours in New Hampshire, but there's also one in Maine. So I hope that they don't get any of our stuff. And there's also, in addition to Indian River School in ours in New Hampshire, there's also an Indian River Middle School in New York.
Oh, dear.
So,
Yeah.
FY to that. So
All right.
you can still look up and see how much we, research how much we receive from those programs. But I was able to go onto the Hannaford site and confirm that our schools all 5 schools of our district are in fact involved in that program or on that list.
Then, all right, cool. I'm gonna look and find out like how they work, how it works.
Yeah, there's like
how
an
do I
app,
get,
and there's stuff that we can do, I think, to better promote that. But that said, I'll make a motion that we go into
Solves
non-public.
that mystery, thank you.
Second.
Yeah.
All right, Kathleen second on non-public. All right, Danielle.
Yes.
Tim, yes. Kathleen.
Yes.
Hope.
Yes.
Candace.
Yes.
All right, we are in non-public.